Hey everybody, and welcome to Dork Lords. Amber, Matthew, we are talking today about Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 9, Battle of the Bastards. You are dressed like Melisandre.
I am.
I am apparently a White Walker, very washed out for some reason, whatever. Alright, but that's me. Good, we're good.
We promised
awesome.
you costumes and we delivered.
Yep. In our own way.
Yes.
As promised. Alright, so, first thoughts.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Excellent. Very happy with
This is
the
one of those,
episode.
like, in the pantheon, like, so now we're, as of next week, we'll have 60 episodes.
Yes.
This has got to be top 5.
Oh, definitely.
You know, you got Hard Home, Battle of Blackwater, Red Wedding. This one is, I mean, Hodor's probably pretty close, too, actually. It's up there, but not, whatever. Anyway, this one's better, I think, than Hodor.
Yes.
Epic. I mean, it's like going to the movies.
Yeah.
It was like going to a movie.
I wanted more, and it was not long enough.
Insane.
Of a fight.
Insane. Even the beginning, the first 10 minutes. Interestingly, so the whole episode was not about Winterfell. You have like a 10-minute sequence with dragons shooting fire at boats.
Yes.
So it doesn't. Okay, bring on the popcorn. We'll just keep watching that. That was entertaining. We see. We'll get rid of the Daenerys stuff first, and then we'll concentrate. So, Daenerys takes out the slavers. Basically, kills 2 of them. There was 3 envoys. And there's that moment where like, we're discussing surrender.
Grey Worm killed
What?
them.
Our surrender? Bleep.
I loved how Grey Worm killed them.
Yeah, he
that
did
was such a like
the one guy who
killer
bowed.
move.
Kind of reminded me of Indiana Jones' Last Crusade when Indiana Jones is like, penitent man, bows before God, and then the thing goes over the top. The one guy who bowed lives.
Yes.
Should have watched his Indiana Jones.
Should have.
Didn't. Okay, so they destroy the ships, but not all the ships, so they can save some to go to Westeros with.
Yes.
And now all 3 dragons are out.
Yes.
So the other 2 are flying
They're
around.
following suit. They're
Yep.
now understanding that Mama's
They're big.
saying, we're angry, and now I'm going to use you for your angriness. And
She
so
does
it's good.
the
I don't like
Dracarys.
them being locked up.
No, agreed.
Because those are her children. And
I'm just sure that there's an animator for Game of Thrones that's like, great. 3? Oh my God. They don't do this anymore. There was a time when that happened.
Yeah.
Now it's, but yeah, mouse. Anyway, so yeah, they had to animate 3 of them. And they were cool. And they're going to be showing up at Westeros
that
next
scene
season.
with all 3 of them in the sky shooting down fire, that was a very cool
Very,
scene.
very
Yeah.
cool. And she's on the back of the Drogon.
I like that she's wearing all black now, and she's going back to her Dothraki ways of...
And then the Dothraki showed up.
Yes.
And killed off the sons
in
of the
a
Harpy.
very cool, like, that
Oh!
again, it was another... Both fight scenes were very cool.
Also, just throwing this out there, it's actually an episode where the good guys won in 2 fights. 2 battles.
Yes.
Just like, oh.
Which is unheard of in Game of Thrones.
I know. Yeah, anyway.
World.
So, we also saw, just a quick wrap-up of the Daenerys, Yara and Theon show up, the Greyjoys, and like, we got 100 ships. There's kind of interesting conversation there between Yara and Daenerys.
And I was glad that another main character finally joined up with Daenerys.
Yes.
Because it's moving her story along finally.
And Theon is connected to Sansa,
Yes.
so that's a whole Stark connection.
Yes, that was definitely needed to happen already. I was terrified they were going to wait until next season for Theon and his sister to show up. Because I couldn't have handled that.
Yeah, right.
I'm
like,
so tired of them dragging something out for 8 episodes.
she's still there, by the way. Still not in Westeros.
No.
Still not. Maybe next episode, but it's been 59 episodes.
Yes.
She's still
Not in
Not
Westeros. Not even
in
close.
Westeros.
to
Not even
Westeros.
close. Not even close.
Not even around the corner.
Nope. Nope.
She is many a
She's
mile
taking
away.
her time.
Very slowly.
Interesting though. I like the thought of like they were saying, look, all of our fathers. And so that was Daenerys' dad and the Greyjoy's dad and then Tyrion's dad, Tywin. They're like they were all horrible tyrants. They left the world worse
Then
than they found it. We're going to try to do a new way. We want to try to lead the world better.
Yes.
I thought, you know what? That's pretty cool.
That is. And hopefully
Well done.
I get worried that she's got a bit of the crazy in
She
her.
does have a bit of a crazy, maybe.
But I think she's able to rein in the crazy, and she keeps herself surrounded by people who help her keep her... Because Tyrion totally kept her in check.
He did.
When
So
she
maybe
first...
you don't want to burn everyone alive.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, and by the way,
this is why my brother killed your father, was because he wanted to do exactly what you're saying.
But there's also that, I mean, this was uber foreshadowing. If, like last week we said, oh, it seems like Cersei's going to blow up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen.
Yes.
It will now happen because Tyrion totally laid the groundwork for it.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you a story. It's unrelated. It's just that it's a metaphor. But you know there's a bunch of wildfire underneath the Sept of Baelor? FYI, no follow-up questions. So, yeah, that's happening.
Yeah.
They just reminded us, by the way, you could totally blow up the Sept of Baelor if you wanted because there's wildfire down there. So, yeah.
One quick thing. I'm kind of disappointed by the lack of surprises from this season. Didn't you always feel previous seasons that you're watching it, you cannot guess what they're going to do?
You're absolutely right.
I feel like we've been able to guess a lot of what they're going to do this season.
We've guessed high. Now, and as much as I would like to give us credit, it's probably partially because it seems like some of it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and that still is bothering me that it doesn't have that same Martin flair that the other seasons have had. We're
suddenly like what?
Remember when
Jon Snow just got killed off by Ramsay? If that had happened, you'd be like,
episode 9, Ned loses his head. Was anybody seeing that? No. And I hadn't read the books at that point, and so that totally blew my mind.
Yeah.
And I miss the lack of surprises.
Right, that little, I feel like what's happened is, I mean, part of it is that the thing's been around for so long that people have been able to speculate about it.
Yes.
But also, I think the story has come so far that the characters that are left are pretty integral. And I think there was always a core of characters that were not going to get killed off, but there were just so many total characters that it was hard to identify them. Mm-hmm. And now we've identified, like, oh, that's kind of an unkillable.
Yeah.
Ish. I think those are, so there's like 5 of those that are like, ish. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay. So maybe it's just a factor of the fact that the story has gotten to a point where it's carved out.
I still would have,
it'd be fun
still appreciate being surprised by some of it. And yeah, that was just
a
side note.
So
I miss surprises.
So on to the main part of the episode, which was
Battle of Winterfell.
Battle of Winterfell. Awesome.
So cool.
All right, the best sequence to me was it's after. So we'll talk about it. But Jon is kind of an idiot and just charges ahead by himself.
He lets his emotions take control. But I don't blame him. Why'd they have to kill Rickon?
I know. Rickon's dead. There's a dead guy. Yeah, that's not what is a surprise, though.
Unnecessarily had to kill him. There was no harm in keeping that character alive.
Even though, but Sansa, it's interesting how Sansa the night before is like, yeah, he's dead.
Yes,
I mean, she totally gives up her brother on that. She's like, he's going to die.
Yeah.
He going to die. And he died.
Yeah.
He died. Ramsay played with him, like deliberately missing arrows, and then just like, bink.
Yeah, as soon as he got up to Jon, then all of a sudden he shoots an arrow right through him. And how do these people have the ability to shoot that far?
And why not shoot Jon?
Something.
He could have shot Jon in that moment too, then.
Right, in the whole one-on-one battle, he could have easily have won from a mile away because apparently he can shoot that far.
Get rid of your king.
But it was just, I felt like it was an unnecessary death. There was no harm in that poor sweet boy who grew to be 9 feet tall.
The fact was, it was just like he was the heir.
I get
That's why they were like, okay, he's not a bastard. He's an actual dude. He's an actual Stark. Let's get rid of him. I don't know, but. Yeah, it wasn't a surprise.
No.
So the coolest like visual, in my opinion, was it's after Jon is staring down the cavalry, and they're like no, and his cavalry shows up, and then there's this shot. It's kind of like a one camera take of him basically avoiding death, like
5,000 times.
5,000 times.
Yeah.
He's like on God mode playing Doom or something. Like he's just moving around, and everyone around him, horses, foes, friends, everyone's dying.
I know the horses' deaths aren't real, but my God, that was so painful to watch all those poor horses.
Yeah, back in the day, they used to how do you make a horse fall down on camera? I'll just put a ditch in front of them and then put some wire around their legs. I mean, they would do that stuff until...
Why are you telling me this?
Sorry, but then they changed... I mean, they made CGI stuff, and they're like, don't hurt animals in shows. But we're talking like, the 40s or something. Maybe by the 70s they weren't doing that. They may be even... Anyway. All right. They didn't hurt any horses in this situation.
No horses were harmed in the filming of this
episode. It just looked like it.
Yeah, a lot of horses crashing into each other like
Somehow Jon Snow didn't die.
And he didn't die once.
I mean, and there's these waves of arrows coming in. Mm-hmm. By the way, shot Rickon again. I mean, he's already dead, and they're like
10 times
pin cushioning the dead guy. You're like, oh man.
I thought they were going to hopefully have Melisandre try to bring him back.
By the
Why
way,
couldn't they have at least tried with
what
that
did she
kid?
do?
What she did nothing.
She was there.
She's just there in case Jon Snow dies.
And
to
he's
try
like,
to
"Don't bring me
him
back," and she's
again.
like, "I might."
It's the god of light who determines if I bring you back or not.
It's the god we've got. That's actually was a kind of an interesting. I like that where he's like, "What kind of god would bring me back to kill me?" And she's like, "Well, it's the one we got."
God,
Deal with
I
it.
do not like this god of light, and I can't wait. They showed the preview for next week's episode where what's his face, the guy who worked with Stannis.
Davos.
Yes, rats are out to Jon.
I thought he was going to kill her this episode. By
I
the way.
need him to.
He
kill
had like
her
the
already.
death stare going.
When he found that little statue of the horse.
Which, by the way, he's like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, snow everywhere.
He needs like a deerstalker hat and a pipe because he's like, "Oh, look, I
Because
found."
he's able to look for clues, and just all of a sudden, a little statue that big appears on the ground to him.
And then he put it together with, "Oh, this is a
But
pyre."
I think he came across. I think he remembered coming across the pyre. That's about where it happened, and so maybe he was just.
I agree. It wasn't a
rummaging.
total.
No, it's not like
insane thing
yeah.
that he came up with the idea, but it was just kind of funny. It's like, wow, okay, he's pretty good at that. So he discovers that Shireen was burned at the stake at basically Melisandre's insistence.
Yes.
So I thought it might come to a situation where he was going to go kill her or try to.
He needs to do something. To
But we see we're jumping ahead here, but see in the trailer for the next week, as you said, that Davos is talking to. It looks like Melisandre and Jon, and he's like talking like Melisandre, tell him what you did.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's not trying to kill her in that moment. He's trying to get some kind of justice, or maybe get her banished. Or
Probably.
I would think we shouldn't be following this person because she did a horrible, horrible thing.
Yeah, and I don't even think Jon really wants to follow her.
Yeah, except that she brought him back to life, but he doesn't seem to even want to be brought back.
She just seems to be that attached girlfriend who refuses to leave. Like they've broken up. He's moved on. He's dating other women. But she's like, maybe if I just stick around long enough, then he'll still want to be with me.
Because she literally did nothing during this battle.
No.
I mean, somebody who supposedly has I have all these
The
powers
ears of
from
the
the Lord of
god.
Light. She did not aid
She
in
didn't even
the battle.
throw anything in the fire to try to predict an outcome.
Right.
She just sat
She was
there.
like,
I think
nah.
it's because she's old now, and we know she's old.
Maybe
and-
she's lost her confidence.
Yeah, she's
like-
something.
All right, so we're coming back. Okay. So he somehow manages to avoid death at every turn. He gets buried by bodies. The mound of bodies. It was a pretty grim. I would say
Did you ever see World War Z?
I haven't seen World War Z, but didn't
There's
that
this
have a
scene
mound?
where
or
all
something?
the zombies are trying to climb this giant wall, and they just keep building on top of each other. And that's kind of what it felt like to me, and that creeped me out. Just all
It
the
was
bodies
creepy.
on top
It
of
was a
each other.
creepy
People were
scene.
still alive and screaming, and
It was grim.
Yeah,
It was
it
kind
was-
of like, it was Saving Private Ryan-y, kind
Yeah.
of, like the beach of Normandy. I would
All
say
the blood.
in medieval context, it was maybe, somewhat Bravehearty, somewhat Two Towers, Battle of Helm's Deepish, but it was very grim. I mean, that was a really
he kept emerging covered in more and more blood. And
grime.
why is
and
he the only one who was
suffocating
covered
under
in
the-
so much blood? Everybody else just had a speck on their cheek, and Jon is just soaked in other
He's
people's
soaked
blood.
in other people's blood. He killed a lot of folks as well. Did a lot of killing.
He's such a good sword fighter. I love watching him.
Which was interesting that he dropped his sword there at the end. I guess he was going to do hand-to-hand combat. We'll get to that. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so notable people who died. I mean, there were a lot of people that died. Tons of people died, and horses, but not real ones. But they're notables who died would be Rickon and 1-1, which was that guy. He went down fighting. That's the giant. And he tears down the gate, and he's getting pin-cushioned,
He
and
all
then
sounds
Ramsay shoots him in the eye.
He seemed like Jon Snow's little lost puppy.
Yeah.
And where's Ghost?
That's true. Where was Ghost in this?
Why
show?
wasn't Ghost a part of the fighting?
Maybe thank goodness Ghost wasn't around.
Yeah, maybe he locked him up or something.
Well,
but I
'cause we
feel
see
I
Jon
haven't seen
ride
Ghost
off,
in
right?
a while.
Maybe.
But before, Ghost would always be by his side, even if he was on horseback. And I feel like he's really trying. We haven't seen much of Ghost. And
Maybe
I
they
wonder
were
what
just.
he's doing.
Maybe the creators were like, "There's just one more element that we tried to keep track of him in the battle.
Yeah.
Let's say he stayed back for snacks."
No, he
For
probably
Scooby
would have
snacks.
died if he was in the fight, but at least there would have been a scene
Yeah.
of
No, you're right.
boy, you have to stay here. I cannot take you with me. And then
Where I'm going.
in his Jon Snow way, no, ghost must remain.
Yeah, very gruff there.
He's a very gruff speaking guy.
Let's talk about your take, because this was a little weird to me. Okay, so generally the theme of the show was kind of like, hey, it seems like the female leaders are kind of doing things the right way, and the guys are dummies.
Just wanting to fight.
You know, so Daenerys and Yara, like, hey, look, we can do this the right way.
That scene when she stuck her hand out to shake Daenerys' hand, it cracked me up. And Daenerys just looking around
tragedy.
Like,
what?
Something like that was so funny, because she really is just so naive about the world and, like, simple custom of shaking somebody's elbow, actually.
What?
Yeah. That cracked me up.
But so then, and then we see Sansa at the War Council. She's like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. I know this guy, you don't. Okay, so and I get that, and that worked out. But then, if you really look at, Littlefinger's army saves the day is kind of the way it works out, right? What? Don't you kind of lay a lot of the carnage on Sansa? Like, why didn't she just say to Jon Snow, the night before the battle? They actually had this conversation. This is not the first time they've had this conversation, but they had it again.
The battle 20 minutes. I'll have an army here.
Right. He says, we got to go. She's like, we don't have enough men. And he's like, hey, it's what we got.
How'd she get word to Littlefinger so damn quickly to show up with his army?
I know.
Apparently, that note that she wrote to him brought him close enough.
It was Federal Express.
She had to have known he was close enough, so you're right. Why didn't she just say to Jon?
I don't originally, I thought her reasoning for not talking to Jon about it was she thought Jon would say, I don't want Littlefinger in my army. I don't want to be, like, she figured that Jon would say, I don't want that guy's help. Maybe. That was my rationale. But at this point, he would have totally taken the help.
Could have saved Rickon.
Could have saved Rickon. He could have saved so many of the army. I mean, just generally. Anyway, it was weird that she didn't mention it at all. Because she had a huge chance to say it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we don't have a big enough army.
But the man who sold me to Bolton is right around the corner. Yeah. He's got 5,000 people, all on horses.
We'll totally outnumber our enemy.
Let me give him a call. He'll be right over.
Yeah. She could have if she was worried about saying the word Littlefinger, she could have, parsed it in some way to be like,
I don't think she's afraid
we have some other
of
friends.
saying this stuff anymore.
I don't know. It was just
I
don't understand her motivation.
No.
For not saying, I got an idea.
Yeah.
She just never did it, and maybe they'll explain it next week. But that was a huge failing. It seemed like on her part, where Jon was kind of dumb for taking the bait and racing off after Ramsay, but she was dumb for not saying, "Hey, you've got an army at your back that you don't know about."
She just didn't. She wanted to show up and be the hero,
I guess.
And so I think she probably felt like that gave her some street cred with Jon. If she then made these arrangements to bring in this other
I would just say,
but it was you're right.
Jon by all means should be dead, right? Again, right? All the ways he avoided death. So, in essence, she put his life in major risk.
I don't think she truly loves him like she claims she does.
I think you're right. I think it's kind of a.
I think that there's some sort of brotherly affection,
You're
but
good at
she
that.
she sees him more as a servant than as
so it's weird,
a brother.
Because I felt like we were supposed to be feeling like, oh, see, Sansa's taken control, and now it's really cool, and everything's great. But I was thinking, like, actually, that's pretty dysfunctional.
It's really dysfunctional.
You killed off a lot of folks. The wildlings probably aren't your friends right now, if they knew the truth. Anyway. So
but it was cool. So when Ramsay's army forms that circle around all of them, I thought that's the most vicious but yet cool way.
Threshing machine.
Of
Just,
like it was.
And then they're stacking the bodies.
I've never seen anything like that in a movie. That was a very original idea.
Yeah, they used to do those Greek phalanxes where they would just and then.
Yeah,
it's a machine. It's basically a giant machine.
The Game of Thrones world,
churning people.
It really did show that Ramsay Bolton was insane, but he could win.
He could win.
That he had the power, and if Littlefinger hadn't shown up, definitely would have
won.
Oh,
yeah. That fight was over.
And because he's smart. I hate the guy with a passion.
He's now been eaten by his own dogs.
Thank God for that.
So that's done.
Yeah, but even when Sansa, I was a little disturbed by her. When she went and talked to him, do it. And then release the dogs in. I kind of would have wanted to cut him myself in some way.
Like maybe
chop an
wasn't
arm
enough?
off or something. I would have wanted to do something to him myself, but then she turned and walked away and she smiled, and I did not like that.
I know, she kind of seemed creepy. Did she have creepy smiles?
She
had
had
a couple of creepy smiles. Like,
she
are
did
you
this
turning
like half
evil?
smirk thing. Yeah, she's insane.
I hope she doesn't turn evil. That would just be like, that would be a shock.
He said to her, "I'll always be with you." Do you think she might be pregnant?
Yes, I think so. I think
Yeah.
they're foreshadowing that
I
she's
think
gonna,
I think she's pregnant with Bolton's baby, and
like, oy.
that's creepy. And
That's
it would
creepy.
be a bastard because she's still technically married to Tyrion, and
Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think they were foreshadowing that she's pregnant with his baby, and
I got that sense when he said that. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah,
Because there'd been a couple of episodes ago, there was some kind of allusion to that. And I forgot what it was, but at the time I thought, I wonder if they're talking about a pregnancy. But they totally brought it out in this episode.
Yeah. But no, that smile when she turned and walked away was not even like a gratifying smile.
Yeah.
It was like she
was relishing this
it
horrible
was
carnage.
not typical of Sansa to
Yeah.
I don't know how to
It was like a
describe it.
Machiavellian smile as
Yeah.
opposed to like a,
Satisfied,
I got revenge
He's
at
gone,
last.
I'm free.
yeah,
Sort of a feeling.
relishing another suffering.
Yeah, it was. If she could have had another 10 hungry dogs in there, that would have maybe made her even happier.
Because she had that same kind of smile earlier in the fight.
When she showed up and she just sitting on the
Yeah.
horse, it was the
It was
same
like-
thing. Like, look at me, I'm better than you, Snow.
Yeah. By the way, everyone's dead because of you. But okay, great, cool.
Yeah,
This is kind of interesting in that there was a theory that I read online a couple of months ago, which there was a line or two stuck into this episode that kind of made that theory maybe coming to light. That theory is, I'm not claiming credit for it, but I'm just bringing it out. There was a theory that was like, how does Jon Snow find out that he's a Targaryen? Spoiler, he's probably a Targaryen. And obviously, the obvious way would be Bran tells him. Like, I had a dream and you were there and you're a Targaryen. But a more concrete way, and that's actually a pun intended, I guess, is that the theory went that when Jon Snow comes back and takes back Winterfell, which he just did, he'll go visit his father's crypts. And when he's down in the crypts, he's going to find basically a secret crypt that Ned Stark made for Jon Snow. And that it's going to have somewhere in the crypt on the side, it's going to have his parents' names on it. And so he's going to see like he's a part Targaryen. I'm not saying this is going to
how
happen.
would nobody else have noticed that?
Right, it would have to be a very secret crypt.
It had to have been a very,
Very
secret
secret
crypt that
crypt.
nobody would ever find.
But I'm just saying they did throw
It
out
could
this
not
thing
be revealed
in this
to anybody.
episode. They did specifically say, "Let's go place Rickon in the crypts next to
In
my
the
father,"
family crypt. Well,
which makes sense. I'm just saying, if you were a follower of that theory, they're going to be down in the crypts. Maybe they're
I
like, "What's that
don't
over there?"
know.
Oh, white boy does Targaryen. All right, anyway, but
Plenty of people have been down in the crypt.
yeah, I agree. You would have to. Plus, somebody would have had to make it.
Yes,
And
and
you have to
nobody's
keep
gonna
that
keep
person
that
a secret. Yeah,
unless you kill the person.
unless it was Ned was a stonemason.
quite
Made
possibly.
his
The
own,
man
like-
had many attacks.
He had many talents.
Many attacks.
Anyway, that was a theory. It was kind of an interesting one. I just put it in the back of my head, and then when I heard John say, "We'll bury him in the crypts next to his father," I thought, well, he has returned to Winterfell. He's going to the crypts. Maybe. Just throw it out there.
I'm not going to buy that theory.
Okay, all right. I still think Littlefinger wrote the letter, and I think as much as it should have come out, I was waiting for this scene. This scene did not happen. Final confrontation. John's punching Ramsay.
Which felt really good to watch.
And this is for that letter he wrote. And then Ramsay's like, "What letter? Huh?" It didn't happen. That line wasn't in there. So my theory is somewhat less strong than it used to be, but I feel like still we're going to see a moment. Here's what I predict. This is very specific. So if it happens, I win the internet again. I think you're going to see a situation where you have Littlefinger, doing some kind of sum up with Sansa, like, "Thank goodness I was there, and great, awesome, and I'm Warden of the North now, awesome." And then he'll have, maybe it's like a little drawer or something, and he'll have the flayed man's stamp, and he'll be like, "Oh, I should put this away." And we'll just see that he had the stamp, and he's hiding it away, and we just make the connection.
If Bolton wrote the letter, then that, or didn't write the letter, that is how it will be revealed, is Littlefinger having something of his.
Yeah.
I don't see Littlefinger, I don't see what purpose that would have served for Littlefinger in the long run.
He just kind of got the fight going.
He got the fight going, but what benefit is there for him?
Because he knew he could help win it.
So he's
And then
playing
he's
both
like-
sides?
And then he's like, well, he always had that thing in place with Sansa. He's like, if I win, you make me Warden of the North. If I help you take your home back, you'll make me Warden of the North. And I think he's going to try to hold her to that pledge.
But Bran's still alive. Bran is the rightful heir. He's the last.
Does anybody know that?
Nobody knows that, but he's going to show up.
Well, he will, but
And
he hasn't shown up
Right.
yet. I'm just
know
saying, I
it
think
ceased.
Littlefinger didn't know that Bran was alive. And so he's like, I'm going to be Warden of the North. Boom. I get it. It's a little
Yeah.
weird. It's a kind of a giant web, but he's one of those giant web kind of guys.
He is, but I think my hope is that Sansa reveals to Jon what Littlefinger did, selling her to Bolton and all of that. Jon gets angry and something happens to Littlefinger, or he gets away or something. I definitely don't see Sansa keeping true to her promise of making him Warden of the North. Especially now if she's pregnant with Bolton's kid, I think it's going to force her to become stronger to protect Winterfell and keep it for her son.
Well, they got to watch out though, because if they turn against Littlefinger, he's got a bigger army than they do right now. I mean, they kind of need to be nice to him for temporarily.
I don't know. Maybe Littlefinger wrote the letter and
I'm on board with that.
I just wouldn't be a fan of that storyline.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just
Rather it be,
it's too many layers.
Too many layers.
I need it to be more straight cut.
It's too many variables. You're like, really?
Because
Would somebody
then
go through all those variables?
Yeah, because then it's bringing Littlefinger back into the story too much, and he really doesn't have any part of any of it.
Okay, I don't think he.
You think he does?
I think he's a pretty big factor.
Use in anybody except for the fact that he has an army, but that's Sansa's cousin's army.
Yeah, I just feel like he plays the game maybe the best.
Oh, he's definitely a master manipulator.
Yeah.
But I don't like him. I think that's
no, he's not a likable guy.
Him.
In fact, that's a good question.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Who is
with that
the
mustache.
next? We just killed. Speaking of mustaches, twirly mustache. We just killed the main. We had Joffrey as the main villain. He got killed off. Ramsay was the main villain. He just got killed off. There's probably going to be a new main villain. Now, maybe Littlefinger is the new main villain.
Probably.
Perhaps. Cersei. I think Cersei is about to do something terrible.
Cersei's about to blow
things up.
herself and her son up.
At least her son.
Yeah.
I think she'll be depressed about it.
Yeah, I think that the end of the Lannisters is coming in next season. Tommen is gonna die.
I think Tommen dies next episode. Yeah, maybe.
That'd be great.
I think
that character.
It's a
is
longer
so
episode. They're gonna have it's like 10 extra minutes or something. So
okay.
I think there's enough time that they could go back and go, kablooey, kablooey. Oh no, Tommen! Where was Tommen? Oh no! I thought he was going to pick up ice cream, and instead he walked into the church.
Oh, and also my idea last week about timeline. Like, is everything happening at the same time for everybody? I think it was proven this week that it's not.
Okay.
Because Theon and his sister showed up.
Very fast.
Very fast. And that whole scene, that whole Daenerys story is like a week or two. Like, the timeline of that, if you follow along, it's not that long.
Okay. So you think that they're already on their way?
I think it would have taken a while. I think they're possibly already on their way. We're going to see them next week, and they're on their way.
It's called Winds of Winter,
Westeros.
right? Is the name of the...
I didn't see the name of her next week's.
I think it's called another, like a book title, perhaps. The idea, we'll probably see the White Walkers again. But yeah, will Daenerys finally reach Westeros? Will she finally reach Westeros?
I think she'll be on her way.
I think she'll be on her way. I
don't think she's going to get there.
Dragons.
Yeah, we're going to see her standing there. The dragons are flying overhead. Theon and his sister are standing behind her. His sister is checking out Daenerys' ass. And
that's an interesting relationship angle there.
Yeah,
they were totally playing that up a little bit. Yeah.
Everyone is very creepy. There's no romance in this show at all.
Yeah,
they're all very awkward.
There's some awkward folks.
Yeah, it's.
So what else are we going to see? I still claim that we're going to maybe not next episode, but we're going to see Jorah team up with Sam at the Maesters. Maybe we'll see a quick moment of that in the next episode.
Yeah.
They're going to try to sum
See
everybody
that.
up. Arya's...
That's why I was trying to think of all the stories we need to see something. Arya needs to be headed...
Does she show up in Westeros, or is she on her way as well?
I don't know necessarily if she's going to be going west anymore like she said she wanted to.
You don't think she's going to Westeros?
No, I mean beyond
Beyond
Westeros.
Westeros. I don't think she is either.
No, I think she's going to
One day.
Winterfell or Westeros.
Yeah. So let's say she's
She's going to
she's
remain
on
up.
her...
She's
Yeah.
purposely
She's heading to
going-
Winterfell, methinks.
Yeah. She's definitely going to one of those two destinations. As
When they
opposed
dropped
to,
the banners, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They replaced the flayed man banners with the Winterfell
That banner
banners.
was so disturbing.
It was like,
And then who are those 5 people that they...
I know. That's a
Why
good question.
I needed an explanation who those 5
Who
people
are-
were. I thought maybe they were the heads of the houses that were supporting Bolton. Because
they
that
didn't-
was a big
they
thing that
didn't
John
say
was
it, but-
saying, was that if they understood that he refused to fight for them, maybe that was Bolton's way of making sure that that never happened, was by taking the heads of the houses supporting him and flaying them.
They didn't say
God,
what they
play
were.
so
but
many people
they play-
in the show.
But yeah, they just put the crosses out on the field.
Yeah.
There's a little intimidation factor. It was like, well, if those are your own men, then hey, that's 5 less guys we got to fight. Thanks. I don't know.
Yeah, I was hoping that there would have been an explanation.
Yeah, of who they were.
Who they
were. They
were.
impertinent? I was like, wait, is that Rickon? No,
No, yeah.
wasn't. He got shot.
Lots.
Okay,
So we've got Arya
one
to
episode
figure
left
out where she's
this
going.
season.
We've got Bran needs to hook up with
Back to Tower of Joy.
someone.
Back to Tower of Joy.
Yeah, I mean he's
So we're gonna
back with,
we'll definitely see that next episode.
yes, and he's with his uncle, so it'll be
Right.
easier to get him. He'll get somewhere faster now, as opposed to poor Hodor, who was always having to carry the guy and
Uh-huh.
can't really walk that fast.
Yeah.
Hodor.
Hodor.
So
Will the walkers
that-
go south of the wall in the next episode?
I don't know how the walkers can get south of the wall.
Yeah. The theory is that if Bran goes south of the wall because he has the mark on him, then they
That
can
they'll
go
follow.
south. But I don't know if that first he has to get there, and he hasn't gone south of the wall yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
I don't know,
It won't
feels
be
like
next week, I don't think.
they're kind of in Daenerys syndrome. They can't get to the main story. They're always
Yeah.
they're always out there somewhere.
Well, now it's. I mean, now that makes sense. The White Walkers are going to be following Bran. Bran's going to be headed somewhere. Nobody realizes that the White Walkers are really going to be following him all around, and so that'll be a big fight.
I would love to see a cinematic scene of the wall falling, but I don't think that's. I mean,
I think
I
that
don't know
would
if it's due to fall,
destroy the
but,
North.
but there's a sense, there's a theory that the wall itself just. I mean, it's not a theory as much as it's a hope. There's somebody out there like.
Yeah.
So here's a wacky theory. Wacky theory. What they'll do is they could end the season with 2 different exploding things. You could see King's Landing going kaboom, and the wall going kaboom at the same time. So you'd see fire and ice. Huh? Huh?
Whoa.
Huh? I just made something up cool. I'm gonna write me a book.
Yes, he is.
All right.
He'll be a
Anyway,
#1 bestseller.
so there you go. If that happens to happen next week, then again,
Fire and Ice. Yeah,
we win the
that's
internet
it.
again. So.
Yeah, and then I guess that's it. We now know what everyone else will be doing. Jon and Sansa are just going to be setting up camp at Winterfell.
Right. Getting things established. Here's one last.
Dealing with Littlefinger and Melisandre. One or both of those people will hopefully be dead at the end of next episode.
We'll talk about like theories for the rest of the series next time when we're talking about episode 10. But just really quickly, what do you think? Like, so Daenerys is obviously showing up. Will the Starks join her against the Lannisters, or will she just fight the Starks as well?
No, I think Jon is the uniting force.
Yeah.
And how she agreed to give up the Iron Isles, right? Is that
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah.
felt like
She's
I
like,
didn't
you
hear
can
it.
be independent.
You can be independent, and he's like,
You the Greyjoys.
right. All you have to do is ask me.
Yeah.
So maybe Jon will
Like,
say,
I'll help
let
you,
us
me
keep
Winterfell.
Winterfell, and we'll
You can rule. You take that throne.
You
Great.
can take the other 5, but
You're better than the Lannisters.
yeah, because
yeah.
that's where they're at home.
One last thing, which just occurred to me. There is a possibility, and I think this is coming around, but I don't know that it's. It would be really rushed for it to be next episode. I think we're coming to back. You know, there's the prophecy in the books that Cersei is killed off by her little brother, and she's always thought it was Tyrion, but it could be interpreted as Jaime. Then I think Jaime, in order to save King's Landing, maybe
We'll stop.
kills her, kind of like he did
he
with the
already
king.
does it.
Right. It would be a very kind of
Do you remember
narrative.
how cool that scene was
arc.
when we got the flashback of the Mad King?
I know.
I've been so disappointed. I was hoping we'd get like 5-minute clips of Bran.
I know.
And so we could get some
I know.
more
And then he
like
stopped
flashbacks.
turning- Oh, I
and
know.
then
It's
just
been killing
ended
me.
it.
So
Yeah,
we
'cause
will
that
get more
was-
flashbacks, but it's probably Tower of Joy. But just a thought, it's a small chance, I think, for the next episode. But somewhere down the line, I think maybe it's a Jaime kills Cersei for some
hope.
greater good, which will be a tragic as hell.
Yeah, every episode, my opinion changes on who's going to kill Jaime, and because I feel like Jaime's going to die.
Yeah.
I don't see him surviving this, and if he kills Cersei,
Maybe he kills
he'll
himself.
kill himself. He'll do something
he
because
commits
he's
suicide.
pretty much admitted he's crazy pants about his sister.
He's crazy pants.
He
generally,
will not
yeah.
be able to live without her. Just
Right.
so disturbing to say out loud.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so uncomfortable.
Anyway, so we threw out a whole bunch of theories there, but
Yeah.
something will stick. Anyway, this is our episode 9 review. Thanks so much for watching. Dork Lords, thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
Bye.